Hello and welcome back, or welcome if you're new. If you're new here, my name is Elena. I'm the homeschooling mama to 3 kiddos. Here on the channel we talk about everything from homeschooling to homemaking. I didn't realize the heater was on. I'll be right back. And now the neighbor's dogs are barking, the neighborhood dogs. So we're just gonna dive in. It's real life here. Like I mentioned, I'm a homeschooling mom, so there's always some kind of noise happening in my home or nearby. Today's video is a homeschool show and tell video that is hosted by Abby from Rooted in Rest and Jessica from the Waldock Way. And this month we're going to talk about technology and how we use it in our homeschool. There are only a few things that I would say we use on the regular, so I'm going to share those two things with you first, and then I'm going to show you some of the things that we use that have been helpful to us, but we don't always get to. So the things that we use on the regular or more often are online applications or online subscriptions. The first one being Vooks. It's Vooks. I will link it down below for you, but it is an online video books is what I'm assuming that the Vooks mesh word stands for. My kids have really enjoyed using this. We first discovered it when stay-at-home orders were in place, and it was just one of the things that came out. I don't know if it came out at that time or if that's just when we discovered it, but we have kept up with it and we really like this subscription or program. I'm not sure what you would call it, but it has a lot of books, especially geared towards younger children. So just for reference, my youngest is 7 and he is on the autism spectrum, and then I have a daughter who is 9, and then my oldest son is 15, and they are all on the cusp of birthdays. So within the next few months, we're all going to bump up an age there. All the kiddos are going to bump up an age there. So my two youngest, my youngest son and then my daughter, mostly are using it, and my youngest son is the one that enjoys it the absolute most right now, I would say. My daughter does enjoy it, and especially if my youngest son is watching it, she'll ask for a turn and they'll just go back and forth picking out different books to read or to listen to and watch. And like I said, these books range from all kinds of things. We've used these sometimes in unit studies. We've used it just when mom's feeling down and needed a break. We've used it in periods of transition when I wanted to get them something that I felt less guilty about screen time, and I plugged it in there. So we've used that quite frequently. The other program or subscription that we have been using, we've been using this for a couple of years now, for sure at least 2, maybe even longer than that, is Reading Eggs. We purchased the Reading Eggs program, and it comes with math seeds and fast phonics. Now, I don't have them do this every day, although we probably could. It's a fun, interactive site that the kids like to use, and they like that it's on the computer because we don't have a program that's just computer for the kiddos. Does that make sense? We don't have like a set screen time for them during school time. Most of their school stuff is hands-on, or it is paper worksheet type stuff. So some days when they finish that early, or like I said, same kind of seasons, if it's a transition, if mom's tired, if mom's not feeling well, that kind of thing, this comes in pretty clutch for us. So I will set them down on the computer. Again, this is geared toward my 2 younger children. My oldest son did do, I don't think he did Reading Eggs. He did something similar called ABC Yeah. I will link that for you down below too, as well as Reading Eggs, which is what we're using now. He did that for a little while too, and then of course just kind of aged out of it. So my 2 youngest will do the Reading Eggs program, and I really like it because they can get help where they need it. So for my daughter, she needs a little bit extra help in math typically, and so she will work more on math seeds, and I will give her a set time. If we're gonna sit down and do that, I'll give her a set time to work on that, and then if she still wants to continue to be on the site, then she can pick if she wants to switch over to Reading Eggs or fast phonics. And then the same with my son. So my son for a moment was needing extra work with phonics, and so I would have him be on fast phonics, tell him you need to be on this program for a set amount of time. When the timer goes off, you can pick if you want to go to math seeds, or if you want to go to Reading Eggs, or if you want to stay on fast phonics. They have little mascots. The kids, as they earn more points, can pick out different outfits for them and things like that. Some are free, but then as an incentive to them, they can pick out different outfits and different accessories that go with it. For reading eggs, I believe there's a map and a trail that they follow, and each adventure gets you new games and new ways to practice the skills that they're working on, and then you level up. So my two littles will often compare, what level are you on? What are you doing? And they'll look at their characters and kind of compare how they're dressing them, and oh, I don't have that accessory, or I got this one. And it actually makes for a really fun time for them. So I gladly pay for that. We try to budget it and make sure that we have the room in the budget to pay for that, so the kiddos are able to continue on with that. Okay, let me show you some of the things. I guess some of this I misspoke. Some of it we do use more frequently than others. I went to grab one DVD to show you our helps, and then I realized there are other stuff that we are kind of using on the more regular. So let's just jump in. For math, I'm not sure if this counts as using tech in your school, but we use MathUC, and they come with DVDs. These are just a couple that were in with our DVDs, in with our school DVDs. So we have used this for a number of years. It especially clicked very, very well with my oldest son. He has been using it almost the entire time we've homeschooled, and this is his 10th year homeschooling. So I think the first year we didn't use this, but probably by the second or third year we had moved on to MathUC. And the reason that it may count as using technology in your school is that there are DVDs with the lessons on them that your kiddos can watch, or you can purchase the digital pack and watch it on the computer online. So what it is Mr. Demi here will come onto your DVD or on the computer, whichever one that you're using, and he will teach your kids the next foundation, the next topic in the math sequence, and then you have a workbook and a test book that goes with it. For my son, like I said, it just seemed to click super well. He loves this program, so that's why we've continued on with it. For my daughter, I've noticed that we had to take a slight detour, and I do have an upcoming, if it's not out yet, it'll be upcoming, an update to our curriculum. Yes, but for my daughter, she wanted to do the math that her big brother was doing, the same kind of program. So we started her with that, but I noticed that we have to kind of pause along the way and go further into another math curriculum just because she struggles a little bit more with it. So MathUC is a great kind of meet you in the middle, where there is workbook and test books, like I said, and then there's also an online or DVD portion to it. Other DVD curriculums that are working well for my oldest is science. This is just last year and this year new to us. We started it for our high school career here. So he actually started with biology 101, and then this year went back and is going to do his general science 101 to meet that requirement. But science is something that he picks on pretty well. He picks up pretty well, not picks on. And this is kind of the same format with these. This is a Christian high school course from Westfield Studios. Now, I purchased both of these from christianbook.com, and again, I'll try to link as much as I can down below for you. But you may want to take a look at it and decide for yourself if you feel it's enough for your high schooler, if you need to add, or if you feel like this is plenty and you go with this. Now, kind of keeping with the science, one of the things that we really enjoy is the Magic School Bus. And I went ahead a few years back and just bought the set. This is the original Magic School Bus. I know they have a newer one. I think it's out like on Netflix or something. The Magic School Bus rides again, but this is the original one with Miss Frizzle. And like I said, I went ahead and we just bought the whole set one year, and then I was able to find a free curriculum that went with it, and then I just was finding more and more things as we kind of went along and my kids were growing up. So I found, like I said, a free curriculum. I don't think that's available any longer. The last time I mentioned it, I tried to look for the link and wasn't able to find it. But I also had found a subscription some years back, Magic School Bus subscription, and they would mail you these little kits that you could do. So we did that one year. Right now we just kind of use it as a supplement, and there are tons of things that you can find on Pinterest that go with these things, and Teachers Pay Teachers website. So we kind of use it, like I said, as a supplement right now, or if mom is like needing a break and I want some less guilt screen time. I mean, You use your screen as a tool however you want. There are just some times where I'm like, yes, you can watch something, but is there anything learning we can watch? And that's when these come in handy. So the kids enjoy them, and we'll watch that. Or if we're doing a topical study, I will pull these out and see if there's one that matches with that. For my youngest son, though, we had, like I mentioned, had a hard time with phonics and with letter sounds and things like that when we first were introducing these to him. And I saw somewhere that someone recommended Leapfrog's Letter Factory, and so I purchased the DVD up and we just put it on for him one day, and it worked so well for him. I'm starting to see, I'm constantly learning how my youngest learns and how it can change and things. And so it's just really remarkable as a homeschooling parent to be able to watch your kids and figure out the different ways that they learn. And DVDs, things like this with the audio and the visual work really well for him. So the Letter Factory, he put it on as part of the school day at first when we were going over sounds and things like that. And then it kind of got to the point where he just wanted to watch it. And so if we were finished with our schoolwork for the day and he asked to watch it, I would let him watch it again. Watch this. Picked up his letter sounds right away. It was amazing. We moved on from that. This is actually a set, and we got the Talking Words Factory. This one takes some simple sounds and shows your kids how to put it together into words. So this one he's watched a few times too. This one we didn't actually have as part of the curriculum. Like I said, I just bought the set together. I think I got it from like Target. And it was actually less to buy these two than it was just to get this one. So at that time, I went ahead and picked it up, and he's watched both of these. And then we also have the Let's Go to School Leapfrog. And this one also this is preschool skills, phonics skills, counting, and animals. So this one says early reading skills, and this one just says reading skills. But he really enjoyed the characters. He will still pop these on every now and again and watch them. And I think they were great, especially the Letter Factory. Highly, highly recommend. Speaking of Leapfrog, since he did so well with that, we went ahead and I went online and I looked for a Leapfrog. I was just looking for anything really, and we found the Leapfrog books. Now, I just asked him because we bought this used, so it came with this little case, and it holds the books in it, and then right here is supposed to hold the pen, but he has misplaced it, he informed me. So we got to look for that. When I purchased it, it came as a set with the case, the book, or it came with the carrying case, so it just clips like so, and then it's a little carrying case for them. It came with the carrying case, the pen, and then a couple of books. And I did that purposefully because I wanted to keep it kind of all together. So I looked for it used. I'm sure you can just purchase it new also, but we try to have things fit our budget best we can. So we got a couple of books, and since then we have found books at the thrift store. Now I do thumb through and make sure that the pages are mostly intact. The little pen, you will connect it to your computer and then download the book. Some books you need to purchase, but so far I think we've been able to get all of the books that we found have been available online. And then you will download the book onto the pen. The pen will only hold a certain amount of books, so you may have to switch in and out. And then you have the option to just read the story, read the page. If your child really enjoys this book, Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss, for a while we were reading this non-stop, so I was so happy to find the Leapfrog book because the pen could read it to him and he would just sit there and kind of read along with it. And so you can have an option like that. We have books like Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, and it also has games on here, or your child can read it, and if he is stuck on a word, he can just press the pen and they'll work that way. We found an I Spy book, and so he can go through and find the pictures and it will read the list to him. There's also really fun books here. Well, those are fun that I just mentioned, but also this Kung Fu Panda. It's tasty, trainy. It has a little story, but it also has little games inside and a fun little, you can see we got this from the thrift store, so it has some writing on it, but it still works well. But it had little things in here. And then this one is Scooby-Doo Shiny Spooky Nights. I think this is one of the original ones that we got when we purchased it used. But here it says read on your own series, question words, plot elements, feelings, and emotions. So turned out to be a really cool little toolkit for him, and we have taken this with us when we need to go places and we need him to sit for longer periods of time that may be really tough for him. So he will be able to take this together. I've thought about taking it when we go to our church service. So sometimes he can have a difficult time in childcare there, and I always offer to have him sit with me. So we will carry this in the car just in case he needs to just sit quietly with me outside or something like that. So it's come in handy, and this is something that I really enjoy. Now he is using it a little bit less because he's kind of aging out some of these books, but he still enjoys using it. He still will sit for a while and listen to the stories, play the games. His sister enjoys it too. She'll sit and look over his shoulder. This is also a great option as well. Again, I'm not sure if it counts for you as technology. I think because we have that little pen and you gotta charge it. It needs batteries. It does use batteries, so there's that. For games like this and stuff, we like to use rechargeable batteries for those kind of things. I think though that is all that we're using on a regular basis in our school. There are some other programs and things that we are looking into, especially for my youngest son. I take that back, not just my youngest son, but my daughter. My daughter is starting to learn about the world of coding, and she wants to see about creating her own video games. So there are things that we're diving into and researching. If we get into any of those things, I'll be sure to try to share it here with you. But that's all that I have for you today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Thanks for learning and letting me share some of the things we do in our homeschool. I'm excited to watch the playlist and see what other neat technology is out there and how people are using it in their homeschools. As always, if you don't know or you just need to be reminded, may I be the one to tell you that you are deeply and truly loved and so appreciated. I really appreciate you taking your time out and hanging out with me here. Thanks so much for watching.